Okay. There is this popular farm that is actually trending as we speak. It is called the Wealthy Place. I'm referring to Olamide Agro Smart City. Today, I'm privileged to bring to you the MD CEO Olamide Agro Smart City. And I'll be asking him some of the questions you guys have asked concerning farming in Nigeria. So, without further ado, please make welcome with me the MD CEO of Olamide Agro Smart City, Dr. Ekene Ndubide.
Thank you very much, ma. Thank you, ma.
So, Agro Smart City, Olamide Agro Smart City. You know, when we talk about the farm, because from what I saw the other time, it has to do with farming, and we talked about it also being a resort over time.
Yeah.
You know, please can you break down? You know, I know about it, but then let's hear from you. You know what the vision is and what exactly should we expect at Olamide Agro Smart City.
Okay. Good evening, viewers. Good evening, investors around the world. My name is Dr. Ndubide, and let me introduce myself again. The vision for Olamide Agro Smart City came out of my passion from real estate, because as a realtor and also as a developer, I've had people buy land with us rather in the past, and then one day they're coming, if they have financial problem, I need to sell that land that I bought, and then in the process they sell that land below the market price because they had a lot of things on their neck. So at a point I now we're discussing it with our team, we should have a project that solves this problem. That people don't need to do land banking and wait till 5 years or 10 years when they might have sold that land or built on that land before they start making money from the land. Real estate is an asset, yes, but real estate also needs to become revenue generating assets.
Exactly. Okay.
And that is actually the bedrock on which Olamide Agro Smart City is built on. So we're doing land banking and agriculture. So we call it agro real estate. So you don't need to wait until 10 years, until 5 years when you sell that property before you can see money. Maybe you are selling because of price appreciation. No, you don't need to sell before you make money. So that's why we started agro real estate in Olamide Agro Smart City. So that when you invest into our farm, into our land rather, we'll help you to cultivate a cassava on that land.
Okay.
And then we'll now sell the cassava to an off-taker who is also a cassava processing company. And then you now make money when they pay us for the cassava that they have taken from your land. So when you are buying land in Olamide Agro Smart City, we are giving you 2 documents.
Okay.
One document is for land ownership, showing that you own the land in this estate and you are the owner of this land. And then we'll now come back to you again and say, okay, give us permission to use this land that you have bought from us to farm.
Good.
And then when we do that farming, we share the proceeds. So now, alternatively, we would also have come to you and say, madam, okay, now that you have bought, give us money to also go and farm. These are not serious.
Exactly.
But we are putting our mouths, we are putting our words to action.
For action, yeah.
So the money you have paid us for land, we are now taking part of that money to go and do cultivation.
Okay.
So when we have completed the harvesting and the cultivation management and harvesting, we now take out the money we spent in cultivation and now pay you the profits.
Good.
So that is the money that will tell you that we are going to get from the cassava cultivation. Please, dear investors, we are not money doublers.
At all.
We are not investment company. We are not, this is not a Ponzi scheme. We are doing what has been tested and tried. You ask me how. Your grandparents, your uncles in the village, this is exactly what they are doing. But we are doing it in a bigger scale, in a more organized way.
Exactly.
Because you have family land that people are not using. You are not in Nigeria for donkey years. So your uncle decided to go and farm on those land and then sell the proceeds from that land. And that's exactly what we're doing. So you buy the land, instead of buying land and wait for 10 years before you can make money from it, we are putting that land to use.
Exactly.
So when we cultivate cassava on that land, we are sharing the cost with you.
As well as the profit.
As well as the profit. So we take out our cost of cultivation, then you collect the profit. Because if we cultivate 150 acres of land,
yes,
that's tons, thousands of tons of cassava that we're getting from that place.
Okay.
Do you understand? And that also contributes to the food insecurity we have in Nigeria. So we are solving two problems. We are solving food insecurity problem. We're also solving the financial problems for our clients. And now those properties you own are permanently yours. They are yours for life. But we are giving a projection that between now and the next 5 years, that property would have, gone up in value for over 500%. So if you buy 1 hectare for 11 million, in 5 years, that is over 500% increase. Apart from the money you've paid. So let's do the math. Okay. Sorry, I like mathematics. I'm a practical person.
Okay.
So now, 11 million naira multiplied by 500%. Multiplied by 500%. That's about 55 million.
55 million.
So if you divide it by 15 plots, that's almost, each of them is almost 3.6 million. But now they are buying them just for 500,000 naira.
500,000 naira.
Can you see that? So you are making money in multiple ways. Property value appreciation, and also reaping annually from the land that you have bought with us, which is a win-win for everybody. Also, you can say, I want to come and manage this farm by myself. Absolutely, we'll give it to you. You go and manage the farm by yourself. Will not be bothered about that. You take all the risk, all those payments, insurance coverage, all those things. You pay for the security that is on the farm, so all those things, and then it becomes your personal experience. So for that, for people like that, we are building a farmhouse.
Okay.
In the estate.
In the estate, yeah.
So that farmhouse will be all in suits. So at least you have a comfort while you are in the farm. Okay. So if you want to come to the farm and do the farming by yourself, you have the comfort in the farm, but you pay for the time that you're going to spend in that area, because we want to create something out of the ordinary. What is extraordinary, because people think about farming as ancient people's business or old people's business or people that don't have any solution anymore. Around the world, apart from Nigeria, farmers.
So it's big business actually.
Farming is big business, and farmers are rich people.
Very rich.
Very rich people.
Yes.
But in Nigeria, do you know why we hated farming in Nigeria? If you remember when we were in school, when they want to punish you, they will give you knife. Okay. Go and cut grass. Go and cut grass. Exactly. If you offend the principal, they will give you a hole. Go and farm. So they gave us punishment. They gave us the wrong mentality. Yeah, they gave us the wrong mentality about farming, and that's why most people don't even want to go to farm. Yeah. So we see farm as punishment instead of contributing to the national, food, GDP of the country. Yeah. Cassava alone in Nigeria contributes 45%. In terms of crop cultivation in Nigeria. Okay. In our national GDP, cassava alone contributes only 45%. That's we have, let me say, we have over 1,000 products. Yes. But cassava alone contributes 45%.
So what are the things we can get from cassava?
Okay. Cassava is an underrated product. It's an underrated crop rather. We used to see cassava as Gari and starch, tapioca or abacha. Yes, abacha. Okay. But there are 100 raw materials or products you can get from cassava. Number one of it is ethanol that we know. Okay. Ethanol is used to do beer. It's used to do spirits. Yes. Okay. It's also used to do sanitizers. It's also used to do perfume. That's why if you get perfume, they say don't spray on the naked light because it contains ethanol. Ethanol. So the ethanol is what makes it that flammable. Okay. Now, cassava also, from cassava, you can also get what we call methanol. Methanol is an extended version of ethanol. Okay. But that one, you use it to drive vehicles. So in Brazil today, cars are driving on methanol. Okay. And that methanol is gotten from cassava and also sugarcane. So, apart from methanol, you also get sorbitol. Sorbitol is used to do mouthwash and toothpaste, and also the syrup that children take. From cassava as well, you get that starch that we talked about is packaged properly and sent to pharmaceuticals. So they use it to bind drugs.
Buying drugs.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's what we call, those tablets you see.
Yes.
Yeah, it is from cassava they get those things to bind the tablets.
Okay.
And then push it into the market.
Okay.
And then there's what also we call cassava flour.
Okay.
The flour they use to do bread.
Okay.
So there's cassava flour, and it was Obasanjo that started moving Nigeria to use cassava to generate flour.
Yes.
So now that flour is taken by companies
Okay.
like Flour Mills of Nigeria,
Yes,
Dangotes of
and the
Nigeria,
rest.
and the rest of them, and then it's converted to noodles, and then to spaghetti
Okay.
and macaroni. So those things we eat actually
Made from cassava.
made from cassava.
Wow.
You would never know until you are told about it.
Exactly.
Then
Exactly.
another one is
I actually just used to think flour, but not carrying in mind or bearing in mind that it's
Where it's coming
cassava
from, yes.
flour. It's
Yes.
actually cassava flour.
Yes, yes.
But I've always known it's flour.
Yeah,
But
yes, yes.
Okay. I want to digress a bit to a very sensitive question.
yeah.
Clients want to be sure they will not get their fingers burnt this
Okay.
time around, because a lot of people have invested in one thing or the other, and before you know, stories. What documents, what security, what are the measures you've put in place? What are the measures you've put in place for the investments of the clients home and abroad? What have you put in place for their investments to be secure? What are they getting as a legal coverage for their investments in the cassava farm?
Okay, so like I said earlier, you are getting landed documents.
Okay.
That is one part of the documentation process,
Okay.
showing that you own this land, that the land belongs to you for life. This land we're talking about has a CofO.
Please break down the CFO very well.
So the CofO is a 99-year CofO,
Okay.
which means that it's a residential CofO. Now, you can build on a residential land, on a land that has residential CofO, but a land that has agricultural CofO, you cannot build on it.
Did you hear that? So you can build on a residential CFO, but we cannot build on an agricultural CFO.
Then, on a land that also have residential CofO, while in waiting to use that land for residential purpose, you can put that land in use.
In use.
That's why if you notice, many land that Governor Wike is taking from Abuja are land that are redundant. Nothing is happening there.
Okay.
They're not paying because the land you don't use, you don't even remember when your land use charge
Exactly.
has
Expired.
and all those things. So
Yes.
because of that, government can go there and take the
And
land.
just collect the land.
Yes, do you understand? But land that has CofO, before government can even take it, there has to be proper procedure, the compensation as the rest of it. And being that this land is being used for
Agric, yes.
because we're cultivating the land until we are ready to build. So if you remember, during Gowon time, there's what Gowon started then, the President Gowon.
Okay.
He called it homestead farming.
Okay.
Homestead farming is the idea of having a farmland behind your house. And it was Gowon that started it. Because he was doing that to support food supply
that's
after
a very long time
Yeah, that's
ago.
a very long time after the Civil War.
Okay.
So he was doing that so that Nigeria can easily transit, into survive the aftermath of Civil War and the rest of it. So, and it's still something that is still very popular. People can actually own a farm in their house.
Yes, people do own farms in their
So we are just doing this until that place is ready for cultivation. Then we are giving you another document called farming contract.
Okay.
That farming contract is renewable every year.
So
it's detecting our responsibility
okay.
and also your responsibility. So we are seeking for your permission to give us the land. And when you give us the land, that this is what you are going to get every year.
Yeah.
So for year one, we agree on a particular price, which is already on the flyers.
Okay.
And then the penalties if we don't meet up our responsibilities as well. Then in year two, once we make that payment, in year two we'll come back and also have another agreement with you.
So
while we are doing
the client is active.
Yes.
On an annual basis.
Absolutely.
Concerning his land.
Yes.
So number one, the land is not laying fallow.
No.
Number two, there's an annual agreement.
Yes.
To make sure the land is in maximum use.
Yes.
Then number three, there is an annual revenue.
Yes.
That is gotten from the land.
Yes.
At the same time, even at the end of the farming period,
yeah.
If you wake up tomorrow and say I've had enough of farming.
Yeah.
You can as well build on your land.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's very easy. And why we did that is to enhance transparency in our process.
Okay.
So because, for instance, if we lock in with you for 5 years, if there are not underperformance, you can't exit until the 5 years elapse, right?
Exactly.
That means you are trapped in the contract. But we are doing this because we know we will perform. And that's why we are telling you this.
Renewing on an annual basis. So is there going to be a fee attached to the renewal? Because for this first one now, we're saying everything is all inclusive. The farming fee, the seedlings, everything is coming with the farm, with the purchase amount. Subsequently, you know you're going to pay profits. Subsequently, what will happen?